Yes. Well, let's speak to Charles Kusiapia, who is Executive Secretary, Ashanti Business Owners Association of Ghana. Good morning to you, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, and good morning to your listeners as well.
I'm sure for a businessman like yourself, knowing the times, you listen keenly to the budget and how it will affect you. What did you take away from the budget yesterday?
A lot of frustration that I took from the budget, especially with the introduction of the 2.5% extra charge on the VAT. You remember some couples of weeks back, we embarked on a shop closure to protest against the policy implementation of the VAT. And we made an argument that that tax policy, that's the VAT, does not support the dynamics in our environment. You see, the tenets of VAT basically means that every line of your transaction, you're supposed to charge a certain percentage of the VAT to the consumer. The cascading effects obviously make prices very expensive. And we operate in an, unregulated market. So compliance is very low. So let's assume I am registered as a VAT agent and I'm supposed to charge standard rate, which was about 18.5. My next shop, which is not registered, or even if it's registered, is on flat rate. Remember, we are selling the same commodities with the same features and qualities. Price-wise, the person on the 4% beats me off from the market. So you get to the time, I won't be able to charge my VAT so that I can introduce competitive price for survivor. And because I have been registered as a standard rate, which is about 18.5, whether I charge it or not, GRA is under obligation to take that money from me. Revenues I have not accrued, where do I pay for? So we are compelled over the period to use our working capital to pay for VAT. And we got to the point that our capital have been depleted, coupled with the economic challenges we find ourselves in. And we decided to tell government that this policy is not helping us. Even you as government, with that challenges, you are not able to mobilize enough revenue from the market. So let's come up with a policy that will resonate with the nature of our market. So we met the regional minister, we met government tax policy from the Minister of Finance. We told them what is it, we presented proposals, they gave us assurance something can be done about it. Only for us to wake up yesterday that the things that we've been complaining about and we're thinking for a resolution have been increased. So that basically gives us that biggest headache we could ever imagine in our life at this critical time. Disposable incomes of the ordinary Ghanaian have been depleted because of inflation. So people are not even buying our items. We are not even able to meet our bank obligations when our loans retire. And you want to aggravate our issues with an increment of extra 2.5 VAT. Why so at this time? That's where our frustration is.
So based on the conversation you were having with the finance ministry, you said you spoke to the regional minister in Ashanti region. What were you expecting would have happened? A reduction, rather?
We were looking at a much more resonating policy that will respond positively to the challenges we have complained about. In elsewhere like US, you know, they are not practicing VAT. And even other regimes where they are practicing VAT, they don't put VAT on consumables like food. So we're asking, is it possible you can take VAT from the FMCG market so that Ghanaians can afford basic needs, which is food? Government in its presentation want to arrest inflation by 8% or so, and you will increase VAT by 2.5%. That will make prices high. When price goes high, it affects inflation. So that is more or less like a counterproductive. So we were just suggesting to them, look at our environment, look at the dynamics, come out with a much more better policy, one that will help you as government to mobilize or maximize on revenue mobilization, whilst you are also supporting the growth of businesses.
And you didn't see that in this budget.
You also listen to them. Did you see any interventions or policy direction that seems to address the challenges within the business environment and to promote businesses? No. Government was only interested in how he can get revenue. But at this critical moment, government attention probably should be diverted to what can I do to support what we have been all been saying, the engine of growth. That's the business. Because when economic activities is triggered, that is where there's economic multiplier effects of revenue mobilization. And when that is achieved, that is where you get revenue as government. But if you are so fixated about revenue without recourse to the challenges the people you are taxing are going through, you might achieve your target today, but tomorrow you might not be able to get them because by the time you get there, the business have collapsed. And we have always professed the argument that government always introduce taxes. End of the year, they will tell us they are not able to achieve their revenue target. Then they go back and increase revenue again. They increase the tax revenue target again. They will not, and then that spiral cycle continues. Can't we have a break and assess the situation and find out why are we not able to actualize our revenue target? Is it the tax policy have an issue? Is it the business people have an issue? Can we have a roundtable discussion to get to the bottom of this so that we come out with a much more compelling and much more resonating solutions? That has not been done. Total disconnect with the realities on the ground.
Because when you look at government's projections alone, they are looking at over 143 billion cedis that they are seeking to raise in revenue. Majority of that will come from businesses.
Yes, it's supposed that's his target, but he has forgotten that businesses are collapsing. And businesses are collapsing not because businessmen could not manage their businesses. It's not because business people are incompetent. It's because of government-owned policies, directions, and sometimes it's own mismanagement that has brought us where we are. So you cannot aggravate our plight at this time. And the most fundamental thing is this. You say you want to increase VAT to 2.5% so that you can augment road funding. I asked this very simple question. The toll booth that was on our road, who asked them to take it off? If you want revenue to augment road funding, bring those toll booths back. Leave the business people alone. Let us work to support you. That is very fundamental. And this is not just enough. You know, policy rates have been increased. So cost of borrowing is high. That makes cost of doing business very high. So you don't do this to business people. Don't do this. We have not wronged you to do this to us. We deserve something better.
So everything government has been doing, including this additional increase in VAT, has been hurting you. You've not really seen anything that has been helpful to you.
Extremely. It's not about even our FMC. It's across the economy. You ask anybody, ask them, they'll tell you this is not helping. That is why, if you read books, they will tell you Ghana is the most expensive destination in Africa. And the cost of doing business is so high in Ghana than any countries in the sub-Saharan Africa. Why? Can't we start looking at what is happening? When you go to Togo, how much is the interest rate? When you go to Cote d'Ivoire, you want to match our revenue target to meet some of these sub-Saharan countries, then you must be interested to know what are they doing right, so that their cost of doing business come lower. And of course, when the cost of doing business come lower, you are assured of increasing your profit line, because the principles of the business is two. That is, either you control your expenditure and maximize on your profit. But in Ghana, government want to overtax us and takes now more revenue from us at the cost of our business survival. That is wrong.
Because I know in the lead up to the budget drafting process, there are several consultations that they have. They meet all kinds of groups, and your group, I'm sure, is a strategic group. Did they speak to you? Did you say these things to them? And what were the assurances you got from them?
My brother, we're part of the pre-budget discussion that was held in Kumasi. We made our point so much clear to them. We had that impression it's something they can address. We had that so much hope that this budget was going to solve some of the problems, at least that we are faced with. But it rather came to aggravate them.
And what were the proposals you made to them in terms of what they could have done to help you?
Okay, so one of them I had earlier stated that let's do environmental scanning of the FMCGs to appreciate what the key challenges are. In government, you are an expert when it comes to professing policy directions. So when you appreciate challenges, then you probably can design solutions to meet those challenges. That was one. Two, we also told them that with the current VAT policy, it defies the basic principle of taxation, which talks about equity and fairness. In a certain market where we have zero rated VAT, we have flat rate of 4%, and we have standard rate of 18.5. It makes it difficult to achieve fairness in the market in terms of price differentiation. Because I will be selling rice at 100 Ghana cedis, my next shop will be doing rice at 150 Ghana cedis. That is unfairness. So can we address it by streamlining the policy? If it's about you even so much interested in revenue, there are two most appreciated way that goods come to this country, either through production, which is locally, or through the ports. Take your charges at the port. Take your charges at the point of production. So in the market, we can achieve fairness and equity within the market. Then you can get your revenue. These were two solutions we profess to government. And we have never stated anywhere we don't want to pay tax. We want to pay our taxes, but we want to pay realistic taxes that will support the growth of our businesses, support the growth of our economy, and help government also to achieve its economic agenda. Period.
I don't see any of what you just spoke about in the budget.
That's it. That's where the problem is. That's where the problem is. Total disconnection.
And clearly, from what budget the government says it projected to have gotten by the end of this year, it projects to get by the end of this year, and what they are projecting to get by the end of 2023, it looks like there'll be a lot of pressure on you. How are you going to react to that?
I am lost of words. I'm just lost of words. Hard times are ahead of us. Hard times are ahead of us. We as business community probably would have just passed on the cost to the consumer, but disposable income have been affected. So what is the cost of increasing prices and people are not buying? What happens? And when this continues, what happens is we're going to sack up the people we have employed. Unemployment will go high. Two, we are unable to pay our loans with the bank, and the bank is also standing the chance of collapsing. It will come a time another government says you have to do a cleansing of bank financial sector and you need money to pump in. Some of these things cause some of those challenges. Government have an opportunity to readdress this issue before Parliament approve the the budget. Can they look at it now? Or do you want to see business collapsing so that it become part of their legacies?
And that is one area you can direct all these concerns to. That's Parliament. Because unless Parliament approves this budget, the budget will not run. And you can get those concerns addressed. Is that an option you're looking at?
Yes, it's an option we obviously will explore. We will have our executive meeting today. We will come up with a roadmap in getting some of these things addressed as early as possible.